Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Season 5 premiere of Big, Blonde, and Beautiful, the podcast. I'm so excited to get this new season started. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Karolina Howie. I am the host, and each episode I pick a piece of media with fat representation in it, and I talk about the good and the bad, and ultimately decide whether or not I think it's positive or negative fat representation. This week, we're going to be talking about the classic sitcom New Girl. Now, in case you have not heard of New Girl before and haven't watched it, I'm going to give a brief synopsis and before we get into the nitty-gritty. So, New Girl is an ensemble sitcom following the bubbly teacher Jess Day, who, after a bad breakup, moves into a Los Angeles loft with 3 single men: bartender Nick, eccentric marketing manager Schmidt, and former athlete Winston. The series focuses on their dating lives, career struggles, and close friendship. And this show aired from 2011 to 2018. So, in this episode, we're mostly going to be focusing on Fat Schmidt, which is actually a flashback version of the character of Schmidt. We see this a lot in sitcoms, most notably, I would say, Fat Monica from Friends, but I want to talk about the former fat character trope. So, this trope features a character whose personality, drive, backstory is defined by having been overweight in the past, which is exactly what we see with Schmidt's character. He is heavily driven by the fact that he used to be fat and has lost a substantial amount of weight. The funny thing is, he seems to actually be a better person when he was fat. While sometimes used to show character growth, this trope frequently relies on fatphobia. I know, so shocking. Often portraying the character's past self as repulsive and using thin actors in fat suits for comedic effect. I mean, you can't have the former fat trope without using a thin actor in a fat suit, which is partially why it's so harmful, because of the timeline of when things are filmed. There's no way for someone to go from that thin to that fat, or vice versa. So there's no other way to do it other than fat suits. And you know how I feel about fat suits. Not a fan. Not a fan. They're not needed. Let's not. So, the only time we see Fat Schmidt is in flashbacks. We're seeing times where he's insecure, he's messing up with women, he's just awkward in general. And he's just trying to figure out who he is and who he wants to be. And what he really wants is to fit in. Even though I hate the previously fat trope, or the fact that they're in fat suits, I really do love the dynamic of him and Nick in their college years.
Hey, whoa, man, what are you doing in here? That's my ramen.
It's better this way.
You add water to it, you weirdo. It's not a dry treat, it's a soup. Who are you?
Schmidt.
You freak me out, man.
This is cool. We got a good vibe, bro.
You're a super weird guy.
Because I feel like it shows how they're both so inexperienced, especially with women. And they're trying to act all cool guy about it and be like, yeah, I've had tons of sex, but like, tell me about it.
It's my junior year of college. I was about 200 pounds heavier. I got some lubricant. It's to use on a woman to increase her pleasure. Elizabeth and I have been talking, and we plan on merging tonight.
Yeah, Schmidt.
Penis, vagina, penis, vagina.
The room's all yours, cowboy. Is this the first time you'll be making full love?
No way, Jose. Nick, back in high school, they used to call me the sex haver.
It's a great nickname.
But now that we're sitting here talking, would you mind having a discussion openly about the subject of intercourse?
Shoot.
Cool.
And I just think that their dynamic in general is just hilarious, but specifically their college years I really, really like. So, I mean, I guess that's one good thing that we get out of the flashbacks. This trope is used, and specifically in this case, to show us why Schmidt is the way he is. And Schmidt, among many other things, is very fatphobic. In my experience, some of the most fatphobic people are people that are fat or were formerly fat and have lost a lot of weight. For example, I'm thinking of, like public content creators that go through like a major weight loss, whether it's just natural dieting through surgery or GLP-1s. They go through this big transformation. And then because the world treats them like they're worth more, they're like, hey, I'm amazing now, and I was disgusting back then, and you all should follow suit and just be like me. And they sort of turn from this body positive or even body neutral content creator to this just like fat phobic, fat hating person. And it's very damaging. And this is kind of what happens with Schmidt. He lost the weight. Obviously, like IRL, he did not lose any weight, but his character did. And like significantly, he even has, muscles, abs, he works out, but he kind of makes it a big part of his personality.
What about these? These look major to you?
Sorry. I'm his trainer, so, it's kind of the house that Coach built right here. What are we looking at here? That's Baby Smooth.
This is LLS. Ladies love Schmidt.
What? What did you just say? Go put $1 in the jar right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And that's problematic in many instances. He even tries to like fat shame Winston and Nick at different times to lose weight, which I'm like, I know that Nick loses weight. I don't remember what season that the actor lost weight. But even then, I'm like, it wasn't that big of a thing. Like, he wasn't fat before, and they really like to play it up. It's kind of also giving Andy in Parks and Rec when Chris Pratt lost I wouldn't say a bunch of weight, lost some weight, and they made it a point in his character. I'm like, we didn't even need to mention it because it really wasn't that big of a weight loss transformation. Like, maybe health-wise, it was big to the actor, but aesthetic-wise, not so much. So it really wasn't necessary to the plot. As I was saying, Schmidt, very fatphobic. In fact, he likes to talk about his, how do I want to put this? He likes to talk about his standards for the women that he sleeps with and how they've sort of risen as he's done his thing. I don't know how else to put that. But how, like, I think at one point he even says that he doesn't date or sleep with women over a certain size. And I also remember when Jess needs clothes because she hasn't gone to confront her boyfriend and get her stuff. He's like, I have clothing between these sizes.
Do you have a tank top I could borrow? You look like you're about my size. It's just that I'm really low on clothes right now because I broke up with my boyfriend. Okay. I caught him cheating and I just grabbed whatever I could and...
Jess, you know what? I'll let you check my lost and found. It's where I keep all the stuff the girls leave behind in my room after we communicate. That's sizes 0 through 10.
And they're straight size. I think they might venture into mid-size, but they're not plus size. And so he makes remarks that he has been slowly building up who he's sleeping with in order to get the model, aka Cece. And he does get her, and luckily she helps make him a better person. I don't think that she makes her a better person in terms of his weight and body image. There is one with the big scarf that she's kind of like, I love you no matter what. And because he's freaking out because he's like, my wife thinks I'm fat. Or I think she's his wife at that time. Like, Cece thinks I'm fat. She's like, no, I just saw this scarf and thought you'd want it. He doesn't go about being socially accepted in the right way. I keep hitting this. Even when he was fat, he would do, I feel like, what many fat people have done as like a coping mechanism or just a survival tactic, where you sort of play into the fat phobia. You're like, I'm in on the joke, when in reality it's like still doing harm to you. Like specifically we built the Schmidt on tootsie rolls. Like, not cool.
You sing us your birthday song.
Oh, you have a birthday song.
All right, guys, come on.
Say it, come on.
We built this Schmitty.
We built this Schmidt on top.
Tootsie Roll. Yeah, we used to make him sing that because he was fat.
Obviously, we know that Benjamin is like the ultimate douchebag. He's awful. And Schmidt is longing for their approval. And when he's fat, he's doing it with like playing into their fat phobic jokes. He still does that in the present day where we see him. But there are a lot of ways with neighbors, just out and about, where he wants to be socially accepted. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to Schmidt in certain ways, especially in this way, because at some point, all we've wanted is to be socially accepted. I don't think that there's really anyone who hasn't gone through that. And hopefully we get to a point where we realize like being ourselves and just finding the people that accept us for us is the best, which is what he has in Nick and Winston and Jess and Cece. And so I feel like that's an important message that's kind of, boggled down in the whole chaos of the show, because there's so much going on besides just the character of Schmidt. But he's just deep inside, he's still that insecure fat guy who just wants to be loved and accepted. And honestly, don't we all? And now that I've talked about Schmidt, fat Schmidt, I want to talk about Elizabeth. I love her so much. She is honestly one of, if not my favorite side character in this show. She is so confidently herself. I love that she doesn't let Schmidt shame her into feeling bad about who she is or what she looks like or what she likes. And I think that he needed her in his life because she helped make him a better person. And honestly, this is probably a hot take, and I do like Cece, but I really like him and Elizabeth together. I kind of wish that we would have gotten at least a few more episodes with them together, because I think she just makes him so much better of a person in general. And I also just love the actress, and I love the character of her. She's just, again, unapologetically herself. She's very out there, ballsy, and I love it. I love a confident queen. We have Fat Schmidt. We have Elizabeth. I mean, there are also like side characters like Bear Claw and the homeless guy that are also fat. But they're not really, as far as I can remember, their size isn't mentioned, so there's not much to say about them. So I really think that's all that I can think of when it comes to talking about the fat characters in this show. So in terms of positive or negative fat representation, I'm going to have to go with negative. As much as I enjoy watching this show, I don't like fat suits. I don't like the fat trope because there has to be a fat suit. It just feels like lazy writing. I'm tired of seeing these tropes that are just so played out. I'm like, think of something original. I understand certain things, you keep doing them because they work. This one's not working anymore. Honestly, it never really worked for, fat people, but it's not working anymore, and I'm really tired of seeing it, and I wish we could just move past it, and I hope that we can. I haven't seen any more recent sitcoms use this, but I also haven't watched any super recent sitcoms. so I can't speak on that too much. But I'm just honestly tired of it. It's lazy. Let's do better. So yeah, I would have to say negative fat representation, in my opinion. Please comment your thoughts down below. You might have remembered something that I missed, or you might have a different opinion. I'd love to have a conversation about that in the comments. As always, this is an independently created, hosted, edited podcast. I do this all out of my pocket, all out of my own time. So leaving 5-star reviews, a thumbs up, subscribing, sharing, following, all those interactions help this podcast so much, and I appreciate it so much. So please do that. And I'm going to link my personal socials and the podcast socials down below. And as always, until the next episode, stay fat and fabulous. Bye.